Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. And I got a message that I'd like to bring, and I hope it's not to disturb anyone. But this message is dedicated to the right-wing conservatives. And this includes the fundamentalists and the evangelical Christians, including their spokesman. All of them. We have seen and we have lived your version of God, your version of Christianity. Now's the time for a much more compassionate and loving God that is understood only from suffering from the bottom. The problems you caused, we lived. And as reflected through this whole political process, all of the things that have taken place, and to see where you stand, understanding why so many white people are disenchanted with black people, is basically because you have taught racism, you have taught bigotry, and you have had it put up in such a way that we would sit back and take it for all of these years, 400 or something that we have identified most recently. 401 they say we're working with. And now it is time that those who have suffered stand up and show you who have exposed yourself for being all that you said you weren't. You said you weren't liars. You said you weren't cheaters. You said you were good, wonderful, loving people of God who cared about the world. You told us all of that only to find out that that was fake news. Thank goodness it has been exposed. The reason that it is exposed is for us to change it. Now, there are two ways it can be changed. Well, no, honestly, there's really not but one. You see, the way the Democrats are trying to approach the situation, they're trying to make it so much better that you can see a great difference between where you were going and where they've put you. But the truth of the matter is they only put you further back. You're still on the same current, headed in the same direction, unless you change. The reason that this revelation has been made, the reason that this ugliness that has been championed America since we all been here, is so that we can change it. America, if it's taking us down this path where we're destroying ourselves, where we're willing to kill one another, it is the duty and responsibility of those who are led by the Spirit of love to turn this ship all the way around. And whatever pains were being caused over these years when people have been lying around with hatred and bigotry all festing inside of them, but they were held restricted by the law. But nothing ever changed to eradicate that ugliness from them. They had no cure, they had no doctor, no one that was addressing that. Excuse me. Because the political, the conservativeness, and the religious order of that view had no solution. But the God of love does. And that's to make sure that we protect one another. Turn around. We get rid of that which separates us, which makes what it implies that perhaps someone is more than the other because they got more money. They can do more things for themselves than those who don't have money, which cause a whole great distrust in itself. But we want to make it, my friends, the way God wanted, that each and every last one of us can do what we want to do for ourselves, because that's what we do, protect one another, so that each of us can do that. And that is the love of God, not the love of an idol called Trump, not the love of an idol called Putin, or an idol called whoever North Korea has or China has, but it is the love of God that lives in us that depicts where we are going to go forward. So I want you to know, those of you who didn't go all the way, because I heard many of you talk about You were very upset with the Republican Party. You were distasteful at the fact that they had studied the stories of Jesus Christ, the Sermon on the Mount, and all of these things that they had really been given voice to. And now at this moment in time, they turned their back. Many of you were disgusted. I understand that. You didn't even have to be of the conservative persuasion. You know, if you felt that way, then what did others, the more liberal people, how did they feel? Well, even how the liberal people feel. How did the other people feel who have never mattered? This is key. So the only way we can reflect change is to include everybody. Everybody matters. So that it's a simple thing, ladies and gentlemen. Very simple. Check out some of the other videos and you can get it. I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time to alert you where you're at with that religious social order concept of the past. It is time for something that's brand new, not returning back the way we were, not the way we were this time. It's a brand new way. Amen. Amen.